We were trying to juggle so many new things and so much uncertainty that we had to grow in ways we weren't expecting. Today is a new day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, a safe space to bridge the gap between your authentic self and your mental health. We are your food for thought exploration station in order to make today better than yesterday. Expectations, the story of our life. Would you agree? Would you disagree? You probably agree. That is the topic of the month, expectations. Now, we have talked about this before, but I thought I would dive in a little bit more, kind of branching off of last month's topic. And if you haven't tuned into that, I invite you to do so. But expectations kind of find their way into our lives in so many different ways. We have expectations on ourselves. We have expectations on how our life is supposed to look, where we're supposed to be, expectations in our workplace, expectations with our family, expectations with our looks. Did I already say that? But here's the thing. There's expectations all over the place. And we're going to talk about something this month that you might not expect. And that is about releasing those expectations, releasing those teachings, and that box that the world has built and that your upbringing has built and that over time has created this pressure cooker within ourselves of always being at odds with ourselves. This last year is a really good example of that. The world was affected by the pandemic. The world. And we experienced things that no one could have predicted. And there was a lot of expectations that came to a halt. All of the things that you had been working towards, all of the pressure that you may have felt you were under completely changed. And it wasn't without pressure. It was a completely different kind of pressure. 2020 was kind of messy. And of course, it was much harder for some than others. But all in all, we were going through this difficult part of history together. And there were things we couldn't expect. I'm one to stay pretty consistent with my workload and my workplace and my career. And my mind, my mental well-being, my life just went haywire. It was all over the place. And I felt this heavy, heavy weight. And then I had to step back and realize that weight that I was carrying was the weight I was putting on myself because I had all these expectations. And then even as it changed up and we thought, okay, a lot of us are going on lockdown. We're going to have a lot more time than normal. So I guess we got to write that next book and write that next big song and take up all these hobbies and do all the things we wish we could do. And so many of us didn't do any of that. And that's okay. We had all these high hopes, these big plans, and then chaos happened. And all these random things happened. And the execution of all those things just went haywire. But that's okay. That's life. We were trying to juggle so many new things and so much uncertainty that we had to grow in ways we weren't expecting. And the bigger question is, why do we hold these expectations? Where exactly do they come from? Last month, we talked about self-acceptance, and we talked about the expectations within that self-acceptance and how our self-acceptance gets molded because of expectations. I'm saying expectations quite a bit. But to bring it home, the reality is we're taught this very kind of rigid expectation of life since the day we're born. And it's different in every household. It's different in every country. And the thing is that sometimes those expectations are the exact thing that is hindering us from bettering ourselves and bettering the world. Those things can keep us from our best self. So this month, we're really going to dive in to kind of peel back the layers of that onion and really figure out which expectations are really holding us back and how we can release those so we can live our best life and become our best self. And this goes throughout everything. It can be the expectations of your home life, your work life, your identity. I want to encourage you, and am here to support you in finding your true, authentic self. But it starts with small steps, and the small steps count. We want a quick fix. We want something to just inspire us or change the way we think or just drastically change our perspective, and then everything will be fine. But the reality is, true change comes in time, and true change comes with small steps. Nothing really happens overnight if you really take a look at it. There's been some sort of work, there's been some sort of progress, there's been some sort of mental shift that slowly happens to change not just the moment, but to change our lifestyle. Even though that may be frustrating at times, and even though we do want that quick fix, and even though when we're going through hard times, we want that pain to go away as quickly as possible, something is better than nothing. You must do something rather than nothing. And one of the things we're going to do this month is release those expectations. This month, we're going to dive into releasing expectations, which might be something you've never done before and something I know I have to constantly work on. Sometimes the least expected becomes the best thing to ever happen. As you go through your week, repeat this phrase or just explore this food for thought. Today, I will release my expectations and live the day appreciating what is instead of what should be. I'll say it one more time. Today, I will release my expectations and live the day appreciating what is instead of what should be. This topic can go as deep as you desire, but the change starts with you. Today and every day, keep fighting the good fight.